we have looked at how a geometric sequence is a string of numbers like this, and we could make it finite by letting the last number in the sequence be 16. So we'll just say that we're content with these 4 numbers. Now, what we also could do, rather than just list them, we could sum them up. And let's use an S to do that. And we want to sum up the first 4 terms of this sequence. So the sum of these would be 2 plus 4 plus 8 plus 16, which would be 30. Now, if we had more terms than this, if we had n terms in our sequence, and we wanted to sum it up, I mean, when you sum up a geometric sequence, you get a geometric series. And if we wanted to do that, we would have to add together the first term plus the second term plus the third term plus the fourth term, all the way up to the nth term. Now, we have seen that we could rewrite the other terms as the second term would be u1 multiplied with r, the third term would be u1 multiplied with r squared, and the fourth would be u1 multiplied with r cube, and so on, all the way to u1 multiplied with r to the power of n minus 1. That's what we found when we looked at the geometric sequence. So this would be how we would sum up a geometric series. Now the terms sequence and series are easily mixed up, so we'll try to define them. So a sequence is a string of numbers separated with a comma, and a series is a sum of the terms of a sequence. And just like you could have a geometric sequence and you could sum that up as a geometric series, you could have an arithmetic sequence and you can sum that up as an arithmetic series. But we're looking at the geometric series now. Now, we're going to take this with us to the next page, and we're going to do a bit of magic with that. Now, and I say magic because we're going to use a little trick here. We want to find a formula for summing up this series, summing up the terms of this geometric sequence. And one little trick that we're going to do then is, okay, we're going to multiply each side of this equation with r. And if I multiply each side with r, then we're going to have, let's see this, r times s n equals u1 times r plus u2 times r plus u3 times r plus I mean, we've seen already that this can be written as u1 times r plus u1 times r squared plus u1 times r cubed. And notice that this term here and this one are slightly different now. This one has been multiplied with an extra r. That's the little trick we did here. So they look a little different. Now, if, let's see, where's the little rubber? I just need a bit of space here. Now, if the next, say the last term, you would think that would be u1 multiplied with r to the power of n minus 1. But now we have another last term, which is u1 times r to the power of n. Now, how did that happen? That happened because this last term here has now been multiplied with r. So it's no longer r to the power of n minus 1. It's r to the power of n, because we've added one more r. So this is now the final term. So that's the result of this little trick that we did. Now, we're going to subtract, we're going to subtract the sequence or the series that we called Sn from the new one we created called Rsn. And it's going to look like this. Rsn minus Sn equals u1r. This is a term from the last series. And from S1 we subtract u1. And we also subtract u1 multiplied with r while we're at it. And then we have u1 multiplied with r squared from the second series. And then we subtract u1 multiplied with r squared from the first series, plus u1 multiplied with r to the power of 3 minus u1 multiplied with r to the power of 3 from the first series. And you can perhaps see where this is going now. We end up subtracting identical terms all the way up to this one here, u1 multiplied with r to the power of n minus 1, which was the penultimate term in our last series, but it was the final ultimate term in the first series. And at the very end here, we're going to have to add u1 multiplied with r to the power of n, which was the final term in this new sequence. Now we can see that many of these terms are going to cancel each other out, and even this one cancels out this one here. So what we're left with looks something like this. R multiplied with Sn minus Sn equals, then we're going to take this final term here first. u1 multiplied with r to the power of n minus u1, because the two terms that were left to us was this one and this one here. So let's just circle these two. So that's all there was left when we subtract S1 from RS1. Now, here's another cool trick. What we're allowed to do now is we can pull out the bits that are common on each side and put them into parentheses. You've learned how to do this before. Sn is part of both terms. So if we write something like this, if you were to complete this expression here, you would write Sn multiplied with R minus Sn, which is exactly the same as we have here. So these two are identical. And we can do the same on the other side. And say that, okay, U1 is outside the brackets, and inside we have R to the power of n minus 1. And that allows us to isolate this expression for the geometric series Sn equals U1 multiplied with R to the power of n minus 1 divided by R minus 1. And that's our final formula. So this is the formula for the geometric series, or the sum of terms in a geometric sequence. Now, one final detail you want to notice here, and we saw the same in the formula for percentage error, that it doesn't really matter if you reverse the parentheses that you have here. So you're also allowed to use it this way. So you could check this and put in numbers and see what happens. It works out the same way actually. So you can actually use this formula instead, and that sometimes make calculations a bit easier, especially when R is smaller than 1. So if you have a common ratio which is smaller than 1, you might want to reverse the terms in the parentheses here.